Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and to another video. In this one we're gonna make this back street, this kind of Japanese back street, and I'm gonna make this into a 3-part series, I think, where in the first one we'd look at this street, and then the second we're gonna put some animation, like a character running through it like this, with some explosions and camera movements, and in the third one we'll paint it up and make it all pretty. So let's focus on the background in this one. So let's see, this is all made in 3D in Cinema 4D. So here you got the back street, or why do I call it back street? I don't know. This street is a street of houses, and it looks complex if you're new to Cinema 4D maybe, but it's actually pretty simple to make this because it's just made out of a lot of clones of the same thing. So I've made about 3 different house modules. They all look a bit like this one, and then I just copy them around, you know, make loads of them. And I'll show you how I make one of these, and then you can make your own street out of that. So let's make a new project here. And what's cool with like man-made things like architectural objects is that they are pretty much all made out of cubes and cylinders and, you know, sometimes spheres. But it's very easy to make houses because you just make a lot of cubes sit inside each other, and then that looks alright. So first off, let's make a cube and make it editable. That's the little button at the top left that makes it editable, and you can start, you know, pulling the polygons around. So here I'm extruding just the top of it, just to make a little bit of a, you know, some kind of roof shape there. And yeah, then I'm just gonna add a lot of more rectangles and cubes into this. So let's make a new cube, add it in, just create some windows. So I'm gonna use a bool object that works the way you have. If you have 2 objects within it, one will subtract the other. So it's good for making windows and doors and whatnot. And if you put the window object in a group, you can copy it within that group, and you will have more of them. So they will all act like one object within the bool. So let's make some doors here. Nothing fancy here. If you know modeling, this is like nothing. But I think it's kind of it's a easy way, and I'm not after like super detailed houses either, because it's gonna be painted on top of in the end, and also you know, the angle that I'm looking through down the alley is you know, you won't see a lot of the details of the houses. You just want like a busy street of at least, if it's just cubes, then you will see that it's just cubes, but if it has some details on it, I think that will be enough. So let's make some kind of little roofs on top of the window here, and we can make this editable, and maybe just fatten up one of the sides here. And let's rotate this around so it sits the right way. You can use these tools at the top left is for rotation, scale, and position. So maybe that should be the other way around actually. So let's rotate this 180. If you launch shift, it sort of snaps to each to a good angle there. And if you hold down Control or Command if you're on a Mac, and move it or scale it, whatnot, you get a copy of it. So it's a good way to not having to recreate it or do Command C, Command V. You just hold down Control and move it, or Command if you're on a Mac. So let's make this little sort of extension on the house at the front. Just another cube. there. What else do we need? We have those lanterns, so let's make use a capsule, and let's put a cylinder inside it. So that's if you drop the cylinder inside another object, or any object inside another object, and put the positions to 0, it just ends up, you know, right in the middle of that its parent basically. So that's a good way to, you know, align objects up. So this could be our lantern. Let's make it a little smaller. And maybe we need a little roof that it hangs off. So yeah, you can just copy that other roof I made. Let's move it over to the right here. Maybe scale it a bit more. There we go. And what else? Maybe a lamppost. Yeah, let's make a lamppost. Use a cylinder. Make it thin and tall. And we can do the same thing again here. Put one of them capsules inside that. Cancel out the position. And put it at the bottom. Let's make a floor. And maybe, actually let's copy this divider I had there between the floors and just put that on the ground layer, so the house sits on something like a little foundation. Let's also make one of these signs, the street signs that hangs off the building at the front. And you can add more detail. You can add, like, you know, window frames, some cubes around the windows. Or you know, like maybe I had some on some of the other houses I made like angled roofs. So maybe you make one of those, like a triangle at the top of it. But yeah, I think this is enough for one version. You can kind of keep working the same way here and just add detail. So back at this in the street here, let's look at how this is laid out. So it's just, you know, each of these are just a version of those houses, and I just, you know, line them up. So nothing fancy at all. And you can make some custom ones on the ones that are closer or not. So to render it, I want like an outline version, and I'm using Sketch and Toon for that. And in Sketch and Toon, in the shading option, you can set it to background color white. And also for the object, you can set that to, instead of shading, you just put it at custom color white, because I want everything to be white except for the outlines. So, and then under lines, you have folds, creases, border, and outline. And yeah, that should pretty much do it. So if I render this, it will look something like this, which is pretty much exactly what I'm after. And you get these sort of shaders with when you launch Sketch and Toon. So you can drop these on your object, and I put the thickness to distance and also the range to camera, and that allows it to sort of go thicker when it's closer and thinner when it's further away. And it's all based, since I set it on camera, it's based on where the focus distance is of your camera. So it will basically be between a thick and a thin line based on your focus distance. So for the shader, for this like shading render, I'm using Arnold, and I'll show you how to set this up. So if you turn off sketching tool and have Arnold, you need to have Arnold, of course. Maybe you can do this in physical or something like that comes with Cinema 4D, but if you have Arnold, I prefer that. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So I'm using a sky for the lighting. I'm using an Arnold sky and a distant light, and yeah, you can find if you have Arnold, you can find the plugins you can find the lights within the plugin menu. And so I have a sky, it's the white sky, and also a distant light, and I set those at different intensities. I mean, your scene will be different from mine, I'm sure, so you could set it how you want it. And the distant light is basically what represents the sun, and the Arnold sky is just a global illumination of everything. So if we render this now, you will see it has these, yeah, you get this sort of sunlight hitting in. And yeah, let's look at how you can, oh yeah, you can set your sample rate in the Arnold render settings, and output it at some kind of high resolution, 4K or something like that. It takes a while to render, but once you've done that, you have something like this. So this will be the Arnold pass, and this is the outline pass, and then I will put the outline pass on multiply, like this, and it looks kind of drawn when you do that. I mean, it's very clean because it comes out of the 3D, but you can paint on top of this later to make it look a bit more hand-drawn. So yeah, this is, I think, all for this version. In the next one, we're gonna look at creating the character and the explosion and the camera movement. And yeah, hope that was useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.